Hey everybody, Sean Woodland and Tommy Marquez inside the NOBULL retail space on the campus of the Alliant Energy Center in Madison, Wisconsin. It was supposed to be day 2 of competition. Turns out it was day 3 for the individuals and the teams, and we're going to recap our top 5 moments from the day, starting with number 5, Ricky Garard passing Roman Khrennikov on the Husafell bag in the Capital event en route to his 2nd event win of the competition.
You couldn't have scripted it any better. This huge, long, just exhaustive event. It all comes down to the final steps and this just amazing Husafell bag carry. It looks like Roman might be able to sneak away with an event win after battling with Ricky the entire event. But you know what? Ricky kind of hard charges at the end, passes Roman. Roman has to set the bag down. And in an event that feels like Roman should win because he usually excels at these gritty, longer events, Ricky got a huge boost by passing and getting another event win on the weekend. It looked like he was flying sky high.
And just when you thought Ricky kind of reached that exit velocity, here comes Justin Mederios and gets one back on Ricky, passes him on the front rack lunge portion of that up and over event.
There are a ton of victories and different variations of that at the CrossFit Games. There's ones on the leaderboard where you make a ton of points, and there are moral victories where you finally slip a punch and you land one back on your opponent, and that was this event for Justin Mederios. Ricky was out in front on the lunge, looked like he may add to his lead. He has to set the bar down. Justin hard charges, does the lunge unbroken, passes him, the crowd goes nuts, and even though he only picked up 3 points on the leaderboard, I think it was a big moral victory for Justin.
Number 3, do not make Rich Froning mad. Mayhem Freedom goes out and wins event number 1 for the day, and then they have a great come from behind victory in Handstand Machine.
It was almost weird seeing Mayhem not in the white leaders jerseys, but you know what? They hadn't won an event yet. And after winning one in the morning, they got the jersey back, and after Reykjavik got out in front of them and it looked like they were going to start to charge, Mayhem reeled them in and then in dramatic fashion pulled away from the rest of the team, so much so that you could see Rich was fired up. He was playing the crowd, he was pumping his fist, they were celebrating on the way to the line, and it felt like they had finally found their stride, and everyone in the team competition I felt like went, uh-oh.
Yeah, and then this is number 2. Now, any other day, I put this at number 1 because it was a blast to watch. But oh my goodness, Tim Paulson going to plaid on the Echo bike. This guy knocks out 30 calories in less than 30 seconds. And I said it on air, I thought he just should have chrome spray painted his face and just screamed "witness me," because that guy went to a very dark place.
Oh man, I think he earned his spot in Valhalla.
He is awaited. As
the patron saint of full send. I think I just mixed a couple different religions there. But Tim Paulson needed a huge effort to get under the time cap. He gets on the bike, a few other athletes are already there. He puts his head down and he just pours it on. His hair is flying, he's got that Viking braid behind him. The crowd is going nuts because they can see the effort from the big man. And not only does he get under the cap, he passes all those athletes on the bike, improves his standing at a time where, you know, you're fighting to stay above the cut line heading into Saturday. It was a huge moment. The crowd went nuts. I was there on the finish line watching, and it was electric.
It was crazy. Number 1, and I think this is one of those moments we are going to be talking about for a while. We're going to be seeing images from this for a while. That is Rebecca Fuselier's finish in the Capital event with the CrossFit community behind her. I give credit to Justin Berg and Adrian Bosman for making the call on the spot to let that happen because it turned out to be the perfect choice.
It was CrossFit summed up in a single sequence, in my opinion, and even more so, it was the cross-section of CrossFit as a methodology and as a sport, all put together in one moment. Rebecca Fuselier was alone on the field of play. She was almost 10 minutes behind the last athlete to cross. The clock was off the screen, there was no more hat, there was no one keeping score, but you know what, she had to finish because there wasn't a time cap. The community almost felt like it knew what it needed to do, and it got some encouragement and allowance from the officials to wrap around Rebecca, kind of will her to that finish line in a moment that just gave everyone goosebumps.
It was awesome to see, and again, the right choice to let the fans fall in behind Rebecca Fuselier. Let's talk about the biggest surprises for the day. For me, it was Ricky Garard on the Echo press. It looked like he was going to get through another day unscathed without a really bad finish, but then he runs out of gas and takes 28th in that event, and Justin Mederios shaves, I think, 57 points off his lead, or 62 points off his lead.
Yeah, it was just the boost that Mederios needed, an opening for him to start to climb, and honestly, I didn't expect this to be the event that tricked Ricky up. I was in the back watching all the athletes and how they warmed up and what their body language was, and it just didn't seem like Ricky was worried about it. And he's been so calm, cool, and collected all weekend long. But you know what? The byproduct of finding a hole in someone's game is that we have a great race. Water always finds its level, and now we have a pretty level playing field heading into the weekend.
And on the women's side, Emma Lawson had our curiosity because she was in the top 3.
Yeah.
Heading into the weekend, now she's still there and she's only 3 points out of second, so now you definitely have our attention. 17 years old and could finish on the podium.
If you listen to our Athlete Check-In podcast earlier in the week, you know that I talked to Emma, and she mentioned that she felt like she had a playbook from Mao on how to excel at the games as a young athlete. And right now she's taken the ball and running with it. She took the pitch and she's taken it to the house for 6, because you look at where she's at heading into Saturday. She's 3 points back of Mao. She's in a podium position, and the athletes are chasing her. Danielle Brandon, Haley Adams, Christy Arama O'Connell, established athletes in the sport, and they are established at the games. I'm just blown away by Emma's performance so far, and she looks like she belongs 100%.
Lowest finish so far has been 16th place for her, so great job so far for Emma Lawson. That's going to do it for us, but later on, wherever you find your podcast, we'll have a more in-depth look at some of the stuff we talked about. Plus, we want to take you behind the scenes and really give credit to our production crew for the effort that they put forth in order to get that Capital event on air. There's some pretty incredible stuff that they had to deal with in order to even just get that thing back to the audience at home. So we'll talk a lot about that. For Tommy Marquez, I'm Sean Woodland. Thanks so much for watching. Take care of each other, be better, and we will talk to you next time.